Elon Musk is many things. A billionaire genius, a successful entrepreneur, a smart investor, and a real-life Tony Stark. But above all, he's a futurist who's using his funds and know-how to change life as we know it forever. Keep watching until the end to see how Musk plans to colonize Mars within the next few decades. Now, here are 10 amazing Elon Musk inventions you probably didn't know about. The tequila industry is bringing in billions of dollars, and Elon Musk seems to be trying to get his hands on some of that profit. That's right, prepare yourselves for Teslaquila. It all started back in 2018, when Elon tweeted out that Tesla was going bankrupt. He jokingly released a statement that he had been found passed out against a Tesla Model 3, surrounded by Teslaquila bottles. As you probably already guessed, this was nothing more than an April Fool's joke, one that wasn't well received by Tesla Inc. investors. But in October of that same year, Tesla actually submitted a real trademark application for Teslaquila. The product was described on the application as a distilled agave liquor. The application, however, was filed as based on intent to use, meaning that Teslaquila isn't quite ready just yet. But Elon Musk is optimistic, and he tweeted out that Teslaquila would be coming soon. He even tweeted a mock-up of what the Teslaquila bottle is going to look like. While we're all waiting with bated breath for this product to come out, it seems that Elon is facing some pushback from Mexico's Tequila Regulatory Council. In a statement, the CRT said that if Elon wants to make Teslaquila viable as a tequila, it would have to associate itself with an authorized tequila producer, among other conditions. There's no news yet on whether Elon will go down that route or not, but he always figures out how to make things work, one way or another. It seems like a lot of Elon Musk's best ideas come out of his ramblings on Twitter. Back in December 2016, he tweeted out, "Traffic is driving me nuts. I'm going to build a tunnel boring machine and just start digging." He later responded to this tweet with, "I am actually going to do this." And on that same day, The Boring Company was founded. Described as an infrastructure and tunnel construction company, The Boring Company wants to solve the problem of soul-destroying traffic by creating tunnels underground. While you might be thinking that many major cities already have extensive underground public transportation in place, Elon says that what he has in the works is much more like an underground highway than it is a subway. He unveiled an underground tunnel prototype in December 2018, and he even gave reporters and invited guests the opportunity to test it out for themselves. Guests rode in a Tesla Model S to a station in the middle of an LA residential neighborhood, where their car was loaded into an elevator that took them nearly 30 feet underground. They then zipped through a narrow tunnel at 40 miles per hour, though cars will supposedly go much faster than that in the future. While the prototype provided a ride that was bumpier than expected, Musk promises that the finished product will be smooth as glass. And tunnels aren't the only thing on the Boring Company's mind. They also had a limited run of flamethrowers that went on sale back in January 2018. Musk decided to sell the product after the Boring Company made $1 million in sales off a limited run in hats back in 2017. He wanted the next limited edition merchandise to make $10 million in sales, so he sold 20,000 flamethrowers at $500 apiece. He chose the flamethrower specifically because there are flamethrowers in the merchandising section of the 80s movie SPACEBALLS, and he's a huge fan of the movie. To get around complicated shipping and custom regulations, Musk called the product not a flamethrower. The name fits though, because the product isn't actually a flamethrower. According to Elon, it's just a roofing torch with an air rifle cover. The Boring Company even sold overpriced fire extinguishers to go along with the fire-producing torches. Elon actually told his fans not to buy the product, because he said that it was a dangerous and terrible idea, but people still bought them anyway. All 20,000 units quickly sold out, and it doesn't seem like the Boring Company has any plans to put more units back on sale. While we're pretty positive that you would have never linked Elon Musk and flamethrowers together, there's one product that you definitely know him for: Tesla electric cars. But did you know that Tesla started producing a more affordable car option back in 2017? While Teslas are great for the environment, they're notoriously expensive, making them inaccessible for many people. That all changed with the Tesla Model 3, which Musk unveiled in 2016, announcing that it would start at a base price of $35,000. However, since the Model 3 has gone on sale, we have yet to see the price dip as low as he had promised. All the models that are currently available have long-range batteries, making them more expensive. The $35,000 version will reportedly come with a standard battery that won't last as long. But Musk did once tweet out that if you live in California, the $7,500 federal tax credit and the $2,500 state rebate gives you $10,000, bringing the current $45,000 Model 3 option down to just $35,000. While Elon admitted during a conference in October 2018 that Tesla still can't afford to produce a real $35,000 version just yet, he's working on it. He said at the time that Tesla was probably less than 6 months away from successfully making the elusive $35K Model 3. And Elon's not only making waves in the car transport industry, he's also a leader in the space travel industry. Back in 2002, he founded SpaceX, a company that aims to revolutionize space technology, with the ultimate goal of enabling people to live on other planets. According to the SpaceX website, they are the only private company that's able to return a spacecraft from low Earth orbit. They own 3 spacecraft vehicles and have already secured over 100 contracted launches. Elon's latest invention through this company is the Super Heavy Starship, formerly known as the Big Falcon rocket, which is a reusable rocket-spaceship duo that'll be used to bring 100 passengers into the solar system. Yep, Musk is working to make commercial space travel a reality, and he also has his sights set on colonizing Mars. If all goes as planned, Super Heavy Starship will be launched to deliver cargo and supplies to Mars sometime in 2022. Then, in 2023, Musk plans to send SpaceX's first space tourist, billionaire Yusaku Maezawa, into space aboard the Super Heavy Starship on a week-long trip around the moon. If all those trips go well, people will hopefully arrive in Mars by 2025. Musk believes that his Martian colony will realistically begin to form around 2028. Elon has already done a lot for the future of humanity, but the Super Heavy Starship is perhaps his greatest invention yet. If you follow Elon Musk's ramblings, even just a little bit, then you know that he's scared of artificial intelligence. He's so frightened that he once called AI the biggest risk we face as a civilization, and expressed concern over the lack of government regulation. This deep concern led him to co-found OpenAI back in 2015, a non-profit research company whose mission is to build safe artificial general intelligence, AGI, and ensure AGI's benefits are as widely and evenly distributed as possible. OpenAI has done plenty of AI research, like teaching AI to learn dexterity autonomously and improving AI language understanding with unsupervised learning. The great thing about this company is that all of their research and systems for AI learning are available to the public, except in cases where the information could potentially be used maliciously. While Elon helped to bring this company to life, he had to leave the board of OpenAI at the beginning of 2018 to avoid any conflict with Tesla's own AI technology. But the wholesome mission of the company still lives on without him, and he remains an advisor and investor to the group. And responsible AI isn't the only generous gift that Elon has given the world. When tragedy struck in Thailand after 12 boys and their soccer coach were trapped in a cave, Elon created a kid-sized submarine to help out with the rescue effort. As the situation was dire, he had to work fast to create the bullet-shaped tube that he hoped would be maneuvered through a cave by 2 professional divers. The 2.5-mile route the boys needed to travel to get out of the cave was all underwater, and the boys had no idea how to swim. The rescue mission was so dangerous that a former Thai Navy SEAL lost his life while placing air canisters along the cave passage. Musk built the mini submarine with SpaceX parts and personally brought it to Thailand himself. Unfortunately, his invention was rejected by those involved in the rescue mission, but Musk left his mini sub there just in case anyone needed it. While they were able to get all of the boys safely out of the cave without Musk's help, a Thai military official reportedly said that his mini sub invention could be useful for future rescues. Speaking of the future, does connecting human brains to computers sound like something that will only be possible in hundreds of years? Well, thanks to our friend Elon Musk, who loves founding new ventures, Neuralink is seeking to make that happen sooner than we all thought. Co-founded by Elon back in 2016, Neuralink is developing ultra-high bandwidth brain-machine interfaces to connect humans and computers. The Tesla genius says that humans are already pretty much cyborgs because we're constantly on our phones. He's just aiming to create something that'll allow the same information to get to our brains even faster, allowing humans to have superhuman cognition. While Neuralink is pretty good at keeping what they're working on under wraps, Musk teased back in September 2018 that he would have a Neuralink product to announce very soon. We don't know much about the product, other than the fact that Musk called it better than anyone thinks is possible. Considering that he thinks this technology will one day let us create snapshots of ourselves that can live on after our biological body passes away, this elusive product is sure to be interesting. Would you trust Elon with your brain? For those of you who are hesitant, we totally get it. Maybe you'd prefer for him to stick to business ventures involving renewable energy. Besides Tesla's electric cars, Elon is involved in another company that is going to save the future of our planet, Solar City. Tesla acquired Solar City, which just so happens to be run by Musk's cousins, back in 2016, to help bring solar power to the masses. Since then, he's been working closely with Solar City engineers to create a tile solar roof that looks like a traditional style rooftop. While his cousins might have come up with the initial idea, Elon is the one who transformed what they were doing from being useful to being beautiful. He's responsible for creating a roof that all the neighbors would envy, for creating a product that people would actually want to buy. The tiles can be bought in textured, smooth, Tuscan, or slate style, and they're so durable that they're under warranty for the lifetime of your house. Elon even created the Powerwall to store excess solar energy, making it accessible to your home on demand. It seems like Musk has dabbled in all kinds of businesses. But what's next for this future Mars colonizer? He's apparently breaking into the candy industry. On May 5th, 2018, Elon tweeted, "I'm starting a candy company, and it's going to be amazing." Then, in true Elon fashion, he immediately followed up that tweet with, "I am super, super serious." While it didn't seem like a serious idea, he even posted a picture of a prototype called the Boring Candy. The box showed that the candy was peanut brittle and featured a caricature of Elon's face. While many believe that the candy idea was just done as a jab towards billionaire Warren Buffett, Musk's track record shows that a lot of his Twitter ideas eventually become real-life products. Only time will tell if we'll all be eating boring candy in the future. Maybe it's what he'll serve his clients on the super heavy Starship.
He has been called the real-life Tony Stark. He runs a private space travel corporation, the world's leading electric car company, and recently a tunnel boring company that gained attention for manufacturing a flamethrower. It's hard not to have heard about Elon Musk these days, so here's the story of Elon, Tesla, SpaceX, and beyond. Elon Reeve Musk was born June 28, 1971, to May Musk and Errol Musk in Pretoria, South Africa. His mother May was, and still is, a model originating from Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada. His father Errol was a South African-born electromechanical engineer, sailor, and pilot. He also has a younger brother and sister. At the age of 17, Elon left South Africa to attend Queen's University in Ontario, Canada. This was in part to avoid mandatory service in the South African military as required after high school. As a child, Elon accelerated quickly in learning and reading. By the age of 10, he was learning basic computing, and at the age of 12, he developed and sold a game for the Commodore VIC-20 called Blastar for $500. Elon has also cited Isaac Asimov's Foundation series of sci-fi novels as a strong childhood influence. In the novels, author Isaac Asimov illustrates the story of a scientist and a form of science called psychohistory, in which the researcher predicts future societal events and catastrophes by studying patterns of the past. He was quoted on the topic of the book while speaking with Rolling Stone, saying Asimov certainly was influential because he was seriously paralleling Gibbon's decline and fall of the Roman Empire, but he applied that to a sort of modern galactic empire. He also said, "The lesson I drew from that is you should try to take a set of actions that are likely to prolong civilization, minimize the probability of a dark age, and reduce the length of a dark age if there is one. During this time, and up until Musk reached the age of 15, he was bullied severely by many of his classmates and peers. He was quoted on the subject saying, "For the longest time, I was the youngest and the smallest kid in the class because my birthday just happens to fall on almost the last day they will accept you into school, June 28th. And I was a late bloomer, so I was the youngest and the smallest kid in class for years and years. The gangs at school would hunt me down, literally hunt me down." It didn't take him long to step away from his studies and begin to pursue karate, wrestling, and judo in order to defend himself. Eventually, he was fighting back against his aggressors, and they soon left him alone. Elon has recalled his father verbally berating him in the time leading up to his departure from college to go to Canada. He would call him an idiot and telling him that he would never make it. His parents divorced in 1980. When Elon did eventually move, however, it wasn't long before things started to look better for him. He arrived in Canada in 1989 and began classes at Queen's. After his time in Canada, Musk left to study business and physics at the University of Pennsylvania in 1992. After graduating with an undergraduate degree in economics and staying for his second bachelor's in physics, he moved on for further education. He enrolled in and began classes at Stanford University in California, but after only 2 days, decided to drop out. His move to California had been timed perfectly with the internet boom of the mid to late 90s, and in 1995, he and his brother Kimball Musk founded tech startup Zip2. This company created and sold city guides to newspaper publishers, including the New York Times and the Chicago Tribune. In February of 1999, Zip2 was sold to Compaq for $307 million and $34 million in stocks. At 24 years old, with 7% of the sale, Elon Musk had just made $22 million. 4 years later, in 1999, Elon Musk founded X.com. The website offered an online money transfer service via email. Not long after, in 2000, X.com merged with Confinity, another online money transfer service. Under the Confinity umbrella was a service they called PayPal, which the company was later renamed to. Elon was pushed out of his CEO position in 2000 due to internal disagreements. This turned out not to be so bad for Elon, as eBay later acquired PayPal for $1.5 billion in stock. Elon Musk was the company's largest shareholder with over 11%, allotting him roughly $165 million alone. Utilizing his newfound fortune, Elon proceeded to found another venture, this time closer to his heart. SpaceX, or Space Exploration Technologies Corporation, was founded in 2002. By 2008, the company was awarded a contract for cargo transportation to the International Space Station by NASA. And in 2012, SpaceX did just that. Their fledgling rocket, the Falcon 9, was launched from Cape Canaveral early that year. The rocket contained half a ton of cargo for the astronauts on board, making history as the first ever private company to send a rocket to the ISS. Since then, SpaceX has launched over 60 more rockets privately and commercially. But we'll get back to that soon. 1 year later, in 2003, after founding SpaceX, Elon set his sights on the motor industry and hopped on board with Tesla Motors during their Series A financing round. The company was originally incorporated by Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning. Martin was later pushed off the board of directors following the 2008 financial crisis, which led to internal conflict at Tesla. Elon took the chair as the company's CEO and product architect following Martin's departure. He laid off 25% of Tesla's employees and borrowed almost $500 million from the U.S. government in order to save the company from bankruptcy. Tesla went public in 2010 with sales for their yet-to-be-built Roadster already in the thousands. They were the first American car company to have gone public since the Ford Motor Company in 1956. But again, we'll get back to this. Musk, either personally or through these companies, has been involved in a great deal more ventures as well. In 2006, he conceptualized and funded Solar City, which was then run by his cousins Peter and Lyndon Rive. In less than 8 years, Solar City was the second largest provider of solar tech in the U.S. Tesla has since absorbed the company, which operates as a subsidiary under them. In 2013, Elon announced that he intended to build a high-speed transportation system that he called the Hyperloop. He wanted to have his first underground pressurized super train run from the greater Los Angeles area to the San Francisco Bay Area. Musk has also been involved in the creation of 2 artificial intelligence-based companies, OpenAI in 2015 and Neuralink in 2016. The former of which is a not-for-profit. Later on in 2016, Elon announced the Boring Company. The intent of the company was to create new industrial tunnel boring technology because the current cost per mile of drilling made his Hyperloop tunnel economically unfeasible. He tweeted on December 17, 2016, that he was going to build a tunnel boring machine and just start digging. Elon Musk is many things. He's been called a genius compared to Marvel's Tony Stark and has claimed to dream of living on Mars one day. But evidently, above all, he is someone who gets things done. Let's jump back to SpaceX. Following their first government contract, SpaceX continued to launch its rockets out of our atmosphere. They soon also successfully launched a satellite into geosynchronous orbit. But this wasn't the only intent of SpaceX. Musk had a vision of colonizing Mars, and part of his initial reasoning behind founding SpaceX was to do just that. In September of 2016, SpaceX published a video of 3D renderings depicting their intended mission to Mars. Elon was quoted as saying, "I think that a future where we are a space-bearing civilization and a multi-planet species is very exciting." He went on, "In order for that to happen, we've got to dramatically improve the cost of spaceflight." The concept he envisioned required reusable rockets, and because SpaceX is private, they do not have to adhere to the same level of red tape that government organizations generally have to follow. SpaceX also manufactures around 90% of their parts in-house. To put it in perspective, on average, for NASA to launch a comparable rocket, it would cost between $100 and $260 million. SpaceX can manufacture and launch a Falcon 9 rocket for under $300,000. The fuel alone per launch costs $200,000. SpaceX hasn't slowed down either. On February 6, 2018, they successfully launched the Falcon Heavy rocket from NASA's Kennedy Space Center. In a glamorous display streamed live on YouTube, SpaceX showed off their larger than 140,000-pound payload capability by unveiling a Tesla Roadster in Earth orbit. This stunt instantly bolstered the Falcon Heavy's status to that of the most powerful operational rocket on the planet. They've also announced plans to build a new rocket, which they've called the BFR, for Big Falcon Rocket. It's intended to stand at over 100 meters tall and carry over 550,000 pounds. Today, SpaceX is the largest private producer of rocket engines in the world and holds the world record for thrust-to-weight ratio in a rocket. Tesla, meanwhile, is also making great strides in the motor industry. Following their fledgling vehicle, the Roadster, Tesla released the Model S sedan-type car in 2012. The announcement of the Model X SUV-style vehicle came shortly after. However, its release was delayed until 2015. Tesla revolutionized the entire world of electric cars when they entered the market. Other companies in the past have tried and failed to do what Tesla has achieved in recent years. One of the biggest hurdles to overcome that their predecessors hadn't been able to leap was the car's range on a charged battery. Tesla's offer a 250-mile range per charge, which helped consumers begin to wrap their minds around the concept of electric cars. On top of that, the Model S is a desirable sports car boasting an acceleration rate of 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds. Its electric engine gives the car a torque advantage over most traditional engines, allowing the Model S to outperform many cars far beyond its price. Musk also has plans to create a car for the masses. The Model 3 is intended to have a base price of $35,000, according to Tesla's blog. Even more interestingly, Elon stated in 2014 that Tesla would provide any of its technology patents in good faith faith to corporations with the intent of creating more affordable electric car solutions for the world. He has an agenda to shift the status quo in the motor industry. They also have plans to double the amount of charge stations currently in place in both the east and west coasts of the US. And it doesn't stop there. Tesla has also expressed a keen interest in tackling the semi-truck and trucking industry. It has conceptualized and tested electric shipping trucks and is taking the idea further with the intent of introducing antonyms driving systems in them, as well as their other vehicles. One of the larger hurdles that Tesla had to overcome when they started the company was the immense cost of lithium-ion batteries, which are used to power their vehicles. In response, Musk announced plans to build an enormous lithium-ion battery factory called the Gigafactory in 2013. The end goal: to make electric cars more economically viable than fossil fuel-powered cars. After the beginning of production on the Gigafactory, Tesla also revealed the Powerwall, which was devised as a wall-mounted lithium-ion battery that could power your home through solar and other clean energy integration. By the end of 2017, Tesla had surpassed Ford's market value after only 7 years of being public. Elon Musk has also derived a great deal of attention around himself as a person, both negative and positive. Many of the videos and posts about him that are abundant on the web herald him as a genius with a plan to save humanity, and in many ways it can seem that way. He has an obviously strong motivation to push for more green forms of transportation, both on the road and in space. Combined with his home battery initiative, the future can feel greener. Interestingly, despite being involved in numerous AI-based or related companies, Elon has been a strong opponent of developing hyper-intelligent artificial intelligence. He has been interviewed and has spoken about his fears of robotic uprising multiple times. He's not been free of controversy either. In 2018, Musk appeared on the very popular Joe Rogan podcast, which is streamed live on YouTube. During the 2.5-hour-long interview, Musk puffed on what was described as a combination of tobacco and marijuana offered to him by host Joe Rogan. Following the interview, Tesla stocks dropped, and worries of a United States Air Force investigation in regards to his ties with SpaceX started circulating the web. Following that, on the 7th of August that year, Elon allegedly tweeted while driving, "Am considering taking Tesla private at $420. Funding secured." This shocked many people, namely the company's shareholders, and by August 24th, Elon abandoned the plan. He was also criticized in media for his attempted involvement in the crisis of the trapped children in a Thai cave system in June 2018. Musk tweeted about creating a submersible tube to assist in the evacuation of the children, but when his plans were presented to the divers at the scene, they were quick to dismiss its viability. Musk's response was to personally attack the diver in question with an unwarranted accusation. The diver in question has since filed a lawsuit against Mr. Musk following further battery on Twitter. Elon has spoken a great deal about his ideas of the future. From a colony on Mars to mechanical implants in humans to interface with computers, the future of both Tesla and SpaceX also both seem bright, not to mention the Boring Company. Only time will tell what is in store. From rocket ships in space to high-performance electric sports cars, Elon Musk has gotten the world's attention. He seems to have an innate ability to do whatever he sets his mind to. So, what do you think about Musk and his plans for the future? Detractors might claim Elon Musk is keen on launching a mission to Mars for only one reason: he wants to go back home. But those who praise Musk claim he might hold the key to the future. That's in part due to his companies like Tesla, which is already the world's most popular manufacturer of electric cars. Then there's SpaceX, another Musk enterprise which plans to offer a private alternative to getting humankind into orbit and beyond. But speaking of beyond, he owns a few items that are bound to reinforce his eccentricity. We're taking a look at 10 ridiculous expensive things Elon Musk owns. While you're waiting on the launch pad, make sure to like this video, subscribe to The Richest, and join our notification squad. Now let's take a look at some Elon Musk belongings that might raise your eyebrows higher than a SpaceX capsule can take you. One thing you can't argue about Elon Musk is that he has a brain that's far from ridiculous when it comes to ingenuity. Musk himself has often thought he was suited to be a spy, kinda like James Bond. Musk claims that injuries sustained by being bullied as a kid eliminated that opportunity. But now that Musk is filthy rich, he's been able to buy the next best thing. And what would that be? Why, the amphibious Lotus Esprit sports car that was featured in the 007 film The Spy Who Loved Me from 1977. Musk put down $920,000 in 2013 to buy the vehicle. It was outfitted for 007, of course. It could drive off dry land into the ocean, where the wheels would be replaced by fins and the exhaust was exchanged for an undersea propeller so the car can operate like a submarine. Of course, someone like Elon Musk would want such an audacious vehicle. You get the idea that he's into cars. Musk is assembling a collection of vehicles, including a few models that are his pride and joy, namely a Ford Model T and a Jaguar Series 1 1967 E-Type Roadster. The Model T was given to him by a friend and has been running smoothly, but the Jaguar? It was so unreliable it actually broke down while driving away from the dealership. But he kept it and put $35,000 into the vehicle until it was running at peak performance. Musk also had a McLaren Formula One Speedster until he crashed it in 2000. While owning those cars might not seem so ridiculous to some, it might be a bit crazy to fans of Elon Musk. Chances are they'd wrap their heads around why a person investing in green energy cars would bother with engines that run on gasoline, which in part is responsible for ruining the atmosphere. Now, besides cars, Musk has also gone into real estate in a big way. He started by purchasing 5 properties in Los Angeles earlier in 2019, all of them in the ritzy neighborhood of Bel Air. His payment totaled more than $60 million in mortgages, and word has it that he's even looking at one more to buy. That's on top of a home he already bought for nearly $25 million in 2016, as well as 2 homes bought the year before. He also bought a home previously owned by actor Gene Wilder, which he purchased for more than $6 million in 2013. His primary residence is one that he bought in 2012 for $17 million, which has a tennis court and a giant home theater. He's obviously pretty comfortable there. Maybe he doesn't need all these homes, right? We all know Elon Musk likes to zip around in his electric vehicles or those glitzy cars in his private collection, but what about when it comes to everyday mobility? Occasionally, Elon likes to stride in style wearing his custom Tesla-branded sneakers. They were designed by Marco Acosta, who runs DM Customs in Los Angeles. Marco honored a rather peculiar order by someone who claimed to be a friend of Musk and wanted to give him something special for the billionaire's birthday. Acosta went to work on the project using a pair of Nike Air Jordans as a working model. While the design of the shoe was slick, the big draw of the sneakers was that they were made with repurposed luxury materials, including premium python hide. They certainly got a lot of attention when Musk showed them off on social media. This also resulted in a ton of new orders and requests for Acosta to handle. The work, however, is so painstaking that Acosta has to design each shoe totally from scratch. So far, he's come up with 6 sneakers for sale, and the going price, still not as much as a Tesla, but hardly cheap at $1,500 a pair. Would you ever save up to buy these sneakers? Musk has more than his fair share of critics, but he also has a lot of admirers, many of them wishing to show their gratitude for all that he's done as a trailblazing entrepreneur. One of these people is jeweler Ben Yang, going by the name Ben Baller. Through his custom jewelry making company, Icy Fresh Jewels, Yang created an original Tesla ring for Musk. The ring is made of platinum and decked out with an assortment of white diamonds and rubies. The centerpiece is a Tesla logo which sports a trillion-cut diamond with the company name spelt out in diamonds as well. Yang has an impressive roster of clients that include the Black Eyed Peas, Mariah Carey, Drake, Snoop Dogg, and Kanye West. But the crazy thing is that the Tesla ring for Musk is the only time he ever created and gave away a unique jewelry item for free. Any other mortal wanting the same exact ring, however, had better be prepared to fork over a whopping $40,000. Being a billionaire who owns an electric car company and a space fleet comes with its own celebrity status, and nothing says celebrity quite like owning your own tequila company. In reality, the idea for Musk to get into the tequila industry started out as a joke among Tesla designers and engineers. They kind of figured a shot of what they called Tesla-quila is what they needed to get through those tough days at work. Naturally, Musk took it a step further. He posed on social media as someone passed out behind his Tesla Model 3, claiming to be surrounded by Tesla-quila bottles. Then he trademarked the name and went to work on getting a tequila company off the ground. It's still a work in progress, of course. Musk makes more of his eco-conscious fans upset with the fact that he owns a twin-engine private plane. It's called the Gulfstream, and at $70 million, it's reportedly the best plane of its kind on the market. The Gulfstream is capable of going as far as 7,500 miles without refueling and can be customized to suit its billionaire owner's tastes. The jet is a celebrity in its own right, having appeared in the 2005 movie Thank You for Smoking, which starred Rob Lowe and Katie Holmes. Musk even had a cameo in the flick as the plane's pilot. The entrepreneur also owned a Dassault Falcon 900B jet worth $43 million before upgrading to the Gulfstream. And during Tesla's early years, Musk owned a Russian Aero Albatross military jet used for pilot training. Of all the winged wonders that have been in Musk's collection, it's the Albatross that he claims was the most fun to ride. At first glance, this item doesn't seem to look valuable, but to Musk, it's an important chapter in his personal and professional history. It's the domain name X.com, which currently contains no content whatsoever. It sheds some new light on Musk's infatuation for the letter X, as he had since put out a Tesla Model X electric vehicle as well as started an even bolder venture called SpaceX. Evidently, back in 2000, it was a groundbreaking website. That was when Musk, who owned the domain for a finance company he started, merged his firm with another company called Confinity. Confinity at the time had just started a new money transferring service. Musk and new partners decided to brand it as X.com, believing it had more clout recognition than Confinity. When the service was renamed PayPal a year later, X.com was no longer necessary. Yeah, that's right, Elon Musk pretty much owned PayPal before it was even PayPal. We're going to look at one item that Musk doesn't yet own. This one has eccentricity written all over it. In 2017, he mused over the possibility of installing a roller coaster inside Tesla's factory in Fremont, California. The idea was to take the tedium out of the workday with access to a theme park atmosphere. And in keeping with the theme of the green technology automaker, the roller coaster would also be electric. Actually, the roller coaster Musk had in mind would be responsible for transporting workers from the parking lot to the plant. He also had an economic agenda in mind when he came up with the novelty. But a roller coaster may not save Musk from some controversy with his staff. Tesla was going through some tough times trying to get its Model 3 to market in time. Musk feared his workers would unionize because of the long hours they faced. While he argued that Tesla workers could make as much as $25,000 more than other automaker employees because of those hours, he ignored reports that many of his workforce were calling in sick due to exhaustion. Despite the clamoring, there were no additional worker complaints, and the company managed to get the Tesla 3 to showrooms. Given that many of his ventures are so unique and off the beaten path, investors aren't exactly lining up to help finance many of the things Musk has on the drawing board. That's why he finances many of the companies right out of his own pocket and even refuses to take a salary. Such was the case with yet another endeavor called The Boring Company that he started back in 2016. Its purpose was to carve out an underground tunnel beneath Los Angeles to cut down on automobile traffic at ground level. But while the company has since raised more than $112 million, almost all of the funding was from Musk. And while Tesla is undoubtedly the most popular electric car on the market, in the first half of 2018, Musk financed the operation by purchasing more than $35 million in shares of the company. Putting it simply, Elon Musk literally invests in himself. Like the engines that power the vehicles he creates, Musk is always gearing up for success, even at the risk of crashing on the unpredictable path that the economy has paved for him. He could also end up sipping champagne after his victory lap if all his ventures pay off. At any rate, with many of these items he owns or dreams up, he stands to gain or lose the most. Elon Musk might dream up some other cool ideas down the road or even purchase something even more outrageous. But for now, we'll end our look at his collection of crazy keepsakes. Which item surprised you the most? Share your thoughts with us in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to The Richest.